you start to wonder as an industry at what point, and I don't want to get off topic, but at what point does this technology begin to hurt the fishing? Are we there yet? Not even close. But I know it's been a part of many conversations. I've been a part of many conversations. I've talked with DNR members. I've talked with influential people in the industry that are sponsored by some of these brands that make this technology, wondering at what point do we make it so easy to catch fish that we have to start worrying about our resource? Because I see guys go fishing in the Twin Cities. I got here in the Twin Cities, the epicenter of ice fishing. Any given day right now, there's hundreds of people on the ice. And Ross, it'll astound you how many people now have live scope. That now, with zero fishing experience, they may have started ice fishing a year ago, but they have the money to do it, are out there chasing these pods of crappies over the basin where these fish are generally, for our entire lives, never been touched. Now they're getting crushed. Now they're getting found easily. Now these fish can't hide. I'm seeing schools of fish over basins that I've been fishing for 20 years becoming borderline impossible to stay on because they're getting broken up so fast by guys running these systems and telling their buddy, 60 feet that way. Nope, 10 more feet. Yep, you're on them. Bang, start ripping fish. Now you're getting 10%, 15%, soon 20% of ice anglers with this technology at their fingertips. I don't know. It makes me nervous to see some of the trends and how that could impact our fishing.
I agree with you. I mean, I think realistically, I make my living fishing too, and people always are like amazed that I don't keep fish. I keep fish usually 2 or 3 days a year with more than 200 days a year fishing. Right. And it's just, that's all I need to eat. And it's just amazing to me. It's young and it's old. It's not just millennials. It's, there's a lot of older guys that have a real problem throwing fish back. I've had clients that flat out tell me, take us in. I can't watch you throw back these fish anymore.
We had a bite the other day where I had about 10 of us from Clam. We were doing a photo shoot on the ice and we were chasing down basin crappies, and these fish were nomadic. They were all over the place. And we had 3 guys with those types of systems that could see out and find the fish. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to tell you the honest to God truth. If we didn't have those guys with those systems, we would have caught 20% of what we caught as a group. It wouldn't even been close because we just could not stay on the fish. And those are those aha moments where we sat down, and that's really where some of this conversation started was, a couple of the guys were like, we're good fishermen. Like, we know what the heck we're doing. I mean, I'd like to think so. We wouldn't have caught those fish if we didn't have that tool.
And do you know what that is? This conversation we're having about whether it's 360 mega or some type of live imagery, this is the same conversation when somebody looked maybe, I don't know how many years ago, 30 years ago or whatever, with a flasher. For those guys that weren't using a flasher. It's the same conversation, really, right? And I don't know what percentage of people go ice fishing now that don't have a flasher or some type of electronics, but probably not anybody more than once or twice.
Right. Yeah, I'd agree with you. No, you're spot on, and it's the same thing. Like, I've talked with some of the legends of the sport that have helped me, like my idols, like the Corey Studer types, right? And he'll tell me the same type of story when GPS came out. He's like, I remember when GPS came out that, all these hardcore guides on Mille Lacs were like, oh, great, it's going to ruin the lake and it's going to change the game forever. And, and you're probably right. I mean, we may come back to each other in 5 years and say, hey, you know what? It is what it is. We found ways to adapt. We overcome. I mean, trust in our DNRs, right? Trust in the people out there making decisions to help keep our resources strong.
Like Clam does stuff with that recycled fish and, CPR, catch, photo, release thing. I mean, you look at it from a hunting standpoint, a lot of those species like wild turkeys, right? There's more wild turkeys here than when there was just nobody here. And things like that, if it's managed correctly, and I agree, sometimes that's tougher. I think the biggest difference between fishing and hunting is just like right now in Erie, they're saying there's 150 million fish. But realistically, there's no way in the short term for us to call that accurate, inaccurate, within 50 million, right? Where it's a little easier, I think, with some of when you can see it.